In drag racing, it's going to add to the already very big numbers at a 10 Motorsport in Sydney on Boxing Day. Two fine competitors now on the circuit, Cole Dunn and Les Winter. That's Cole Dunn in the yellow car closest to our camera, and he hails from interstate, Kevin.
Yes, both of these cars down from Queensland.
Okay, very shortly, in excess of 3,000 horsepower will be unleashed on the quarter-mile drag strip here. As we now go racing, both of them have well and truly gone, running side by side up the quarter-mile here. The crowd are well and truly on their feet. Winter and Dunn, they run side by side at the cross there. And it is Les Winter who emerges victorious, 7.938 second pass.
Yes, a great race. Unfortunately, the Dunn car red lighted, which automatically gave the win to Les Winter. Next pair again, the all-time crowd favourite here at Eastern Creek, as all over Australia, Victor Bray, the tomato farmer from Queensland.
And he's taking on Woodbridge in a car that looks quite similar from a distance. That's Victor Bray now on screen running for Castrol. Enormous horsepower under the bonnet of that car. An absolute stunning crowd pleaser. Probably the best exponent of burnouts in Australia, wouldn't you agree, Kevin?
Yes, very, very popular. And obviously the Ford versus Chev battle here, very, very popular with the fans. But unfortunately, Woodbridge's Ford is broken down, leaving Victor Bray to go through for a solo pass.
Doesn't matter because the crowd still love this man and they put their hands together. They stood as one. Victor Bray thunders across the strike, 8.750 second pass. Now lucky Belleri is on the racetrack to do battle against Peter Kapiris.
Well, here we move into the late model cars. As you can see with the Wild Bunch, you've got a variety of bodily styles from the early 50s and 60s right through to the late models.
Once again being demonstrated before us here today at Eastern Creek. Kapiris and Belleri are side by side as they await a start. They're gone now. A very even one, in fact. It looks as though something went Australia. Belleri's in front, but I have a feeling he may have red lighted. And the other man on the other side of our camera, Kapiris, looks as though he's going to win. In fact, he does. 8.507 second pass.
And obviously the racing is fairly hard. 2 red lights already in the first round. The pressure's really on. We move now to Nick Weeks and a Monaro. Again, a big block Chev on board. Big smoky burnout from the Monaro. The car runs a small block Chev with an aluminium Rodeck racing engine. Handicap start here, an 8.4 to an 8.60. So there'll be a slight advantage on the leave. But we've already seen there's already been a couple of red lights. Constantinou will have a big catch up here, long way behind, but Weeks looks like he's going to power it.
He certainly is. Weeks, no, if anything, he's gone off the pedal a little bit. And the man on the outside, Constantinou, I think his name's pronounced. It's a terrible one to pronounce, but can't he drive a car? 8.965 is really quite electrifying. Here it is, the Butte now of Alan Fountain, also a crowd pleaser. Turns his car out in magnificent condition. And he's taking on one of drag racing's old war horses, and I use that with the respect it deserves. He's been in the sport for...
They're fairly close as they're about to go through the big burnout routine. That's why the Wild Bunch is so popular. Plenty of smoke, plenty of noise, etc. To drag racing, the burnout routine's not only for the show, it's to be able to actually warm the tyres up. They turn the tyres in water, get the smoke going, heats the tyres up, and then you get the grip they're about to see.
Maximum traction as they unleash that massive horsepower. Fountain and Gatt, this is going to be very close. Benny Gatt coming home like gangbusters. Oh, it's so close as they hit the line. It looked very much as though Fountain just got up, and he did. 8.509 second pass. A staggering 100. Victor Bray's comments there are those thoughts echoed by most drivers. The best facilities in the country. Not hype, as we now have Kapiris and Constantinou on the racetrack, set to do battle.
With Peter Kapiris all the way from Melbourne up against local lad Andrew Constantinou. Slight handicap start to Kapiris here. He's got a good lead, but let's see whether Constantinou can pick him up over the top.
Going to be a good one. They're very even as they rocket up the quarter-mile drag strip here at Eastern Creek. It was Kapiris that went across the strike first, and in fact he will emerge victorious. 8.617 second pass. Proportions here at Eastern Creek, and the crowd are absolutely loving it. Round 2 of the Wild Bunch. Cole Dunn in the yellow car. He'll take on the XF Falcon Ute of Alan Fountain, who performed splendidly to beat Ben Gatt at his last outing on this racetrack.
Of course, most of these cars normally compete in Super Stock Eliminator, which is a national. Use a handicap system that allows them basically to try and cross the top end together and as close as they can and put on a great show. The Cole Dunn 56 Chev, a national record holder in AA gas, but here he's running on a record of 7.8 seconds. Handicap start, the Falcon will leave first.
Okay, Fountain does get away first, as Kevin Prendergast predicted. Have a look at Dunn now, starting to eat him up on the inside line closest to our camera. Dunn puts the foot on the bucket. Geez, it was close when they hit the line. Dunn was the winner, 8.102 second pass at 144.14 miles.
And here he is out now, Victor Bray, and up against him, Les Winter, a pair of wild 56, 57 Chevs. Very, very popular with the crowd, and get ready for the big burnouts.
Okay, Victor Bray, we heard in that interview with him a short while ago, he was concerned his horsepower had left him for the weekend. Doesn't look like it has now. He's found it again as he sends Indian smoke signals up to the sky here. Probably signalling the tomatoes in Queensland. I'll be home soon, lads, he's saying. Victor Bray to unleash all of those 500 cubic aluminium inches, well in excess of 1,500 horsepower here. Eastern Creek, the venue. You're watching it on Sky Channel. As we now await a start, Victor Bray on the right-hand side of the screen, Winter on the left, away they go now. Victor Bray, as I predicted, has certainly found the horsepower, and in fact he's absolutely streeted Winter up to this point in time. There's no stopping Victor Bray as he rockets away with this one. He has emerged a very easy victor, 8.669 second pass, 163 point.
Okay, and for the final pairing, heads up between two Sydney drivers, Lucky Belleri in the Commodore and Ben Gatt in the Falcon. A classic Ford versus Holden battle here. Heads up start, both dialed at an 8.00 second. Both of these cars normally, as I said, would run in Super Stock Eliminator.
Ben Gatt on the right-hand side of the screen, Lucky Belleri driving Lucky's toy, the black VN Commodore, on the left side of our screen. In fact, Belleri almost turned right there and collected the concrete wall. They rocket up the Eastern Creek quarter-mile drag strip. This one's all Ben Gatt. Lucky Belleri has no answer to the might, the awesome power of Ben Gatt's car. Gatt's gone. Belleri is really struggling. 8.279 second pass, 165.08. Welcome back to Eastern Creek, Sydney's Raceway. David Tapp and Kevin Prendergast looking after you.
And there's some money at stake here, so it'll be a great battle in Wild Bunch.
Constantinou, he's the man in the blue car closest to our camera on the left-hand side, as that has really been a marvellous day's racing. Congratulations once again to the organisers for turning on a truly professional and slick show. Away they go now. Constantinou got a very good start. Ben Gatt a little bit all over the place. In fact, Ben Gatt has a major problem, and this one is all over Red Rover, as they say in the classics. Constantinou absolutely blasts away. Ben Gatt, in contrast, is just crawling to the finish line. Constantinou waiting for his time to come up. Here it is, 8.527 second pass. More than respectable, and here he is again, Kevin.
That man, Victor Bray, he's back into the final of the Wild Bunch. This is the final meeting. It has been a great boxing day. Victor Bray up against Peter Kapiris from Melbourne.
Kapiris and Bray, very definitely the most and to the competitors for once again turning out with their usual high standard of professionalism overall, not just in the way their cars are presented, but the way they conduct themselves as well. As we now wait, though, for Kapiris and Victor Bray to contest the final of Wild Bunch. Victor Bray on the right-hand side, Kapiris on the left-hand side. The atmosphere is special here as we await very eagerly. Victor Bray, here he goes now. The lights go green. A very even start. It's Bray and it's Kapiris. Victor Bray has found that needed horsepower that he was talking about. Kapiris is going to argue, though. He's really flashing down on the inside when it's all over. He really flew, and it was Kapiris, in fact, at 8.400 second pass, 160.71 miles per hour. What a day.